We are very pleased to now be joined by former Major League Baseball pitcher. He did pitch for the Montreal Expos in 1996 and part of 1997. He's also a member of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. And a documentary is airing on this gentleman in about 13 minutes' time on Radio-Canada Acadie, out in, of course, the Maritimes, which you can watch here in Montreal on ExpressView channels 100 and 1801, as well as Bell 5, 405, 12, or 628. We are very pleased to welcome into the program Rheal Cormier. Hi, Rheal. How are you?
Good, and you?
Very well. Thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Obviously, Rheal, you have this documentary airing today, and certainly it's all about your career and your time in baseball, both at the minor level and certainly in Major League Baseball. How did this come about? Did they approach you? Did the network approach you? How did it come about?
Yeah, Alain Arsenault and Eric Perron, which are the two guys from Radio-Canada that called me to see if it's something I would be interested of doing with them, and if I would give them, the time to be able to do it. So when I was approached, right from the get-go, I totally agreed to do it. And so we started maybe about a year and a half ago. We started, doing interviews together. And when I was at home last summer, we kind of went back and at the fields when I was like five years old and on, and shared stories of some of the stuff that went through at the time, and whatever decided, did all the interviews with all the other people that speak on there, and I'm glad it came out, because now I get the people I get to share with the local people in L'Acadie, and we all get to share it together. And I was there a few weeks ago when they first aired it for the people of Capital area. Before it's coming out to TV, and it was great that I was able to be there to attend it.
Now, you obviously had an interest in baseball, and you excelled at it at a young age. When did you think you had a chance to be a Major League Baseball pitcher?
Well, as you look at sports in general, I think kids play, like, to me, like kids should play every sport. Like, it shouldn't just be limited to like one, because I played baseball in the summertime, and in the wintertime I would play, the school sport. I think, like, when I really felt that I had a chance to get that, like, even when I went to the college and I pitched in college, I got drafted. Nobody said when you get drafted that you're going to make it. So at least you're getting, you're going in the right directions. And when I was going through the levels in the minor leagues, like single A, then you get moved up to double A, and struggled very badly in double A, thinking I was, done. And all of a sudden I get, then I get called up to triple A that same year. And then, so when I got to AAA in 90, it's really what I felt like I had the foot in the door. Like, I started thinking, like, what do I need to do to get it to the next level, to get the opportunity to go? And when that phone call came, August 13th, obviously I pitched on Acadian Day on August 15th. It was great because, it's everybody's, it's every kid's dream to maybe one day play at the highest level of the sport that they're in. But at the same time, for me, that was, it was great when I got that phone call and got the opportunity to play there.
Chatting with Rhéal Cormier of the, formerly, of course, of Major League Baseball. Rhéal, the interesting thing I saw in the promo, and also chatting with your producer, was the angle involving Bill Lee. Talk to me about what kind of impact and influence he had on your baseball career.
When I was playing Capital A, they had said, one of our coaches in Capital A said, he had told my parents, you guys need to move myself and my brother Donnie to the city because the competition was much better. And when I did move to the city, I played for a couple of years, and then I had an opportunity to go from bantam to, from midget to juniors or midget to seniors, which is an older bunch of guys playing. And at the time, Billy had just retired from Major League Baseball, from the Expos, and then he was actually an import that the Moncton Mets were getting. So when I got that opportunity to be able to skip one level from midgets to seniors, I did it because Billy, it was great. I mean, it was great to have him around because, a guy was coming, had just retired from Major League Baseball, and he still had it. And then Doug Simonett, which at the time was an import too, he was like a AAA type catcher that was, that was just a level before the big leagues, that was catching at the time in Moncton. And between Doug Simonett and Bill Lee was mostly me. I was just mostly watching him pitch, how he was changing speeds. But at the same time, he was there to help me and give up some pointers when he was playing first base or when we come in between innings. He would say, "Oh, Rheal, you're doing this," or "Really, you could probably work more on this." And then how he worked hitters, how he changed speeds, and how he would move the ball around from in and out. And but at the time, I was like 17, 18 years old, so I was still learning. You always learn daily, but having a guy like him that had done it at the highest level and having him around where you could actually feed from was actually a really good experience at the time.
You had a chance to pitch here in Montreal for the Expos, a very good 1996 season. Some injuries obviously derailed you the following year, but that 96 team is very underrated when people talk about the history of baseball here in Montreal. Only 2 games out of a playoff spot. How disappointing was it, and how great was that season overall?
We had a really good team. The only thing that was kind of disappointing as a player standpoint is at the time when we needed to add another hitter to the team, it was never done. I think we needed more like a guy hitting like in the middle of the lineup, and we just didn't. I don't know if they didn't have the cash or didn't have the money to add another player. But anyways, it ended up not happening, and then we ended up losing a playoff spot. And moving on to postseason. But what was amazing when we came in as a visitor to Montreal and when we played there is that no matter if it wasn't a big market team, you knew that the Montreal Expos always had a good team on the field. And the reason why that happened is that they had such a good minor league system. They bring the players up and give them an opportunity to blossom at the major league level. And where there's a lot of teams in baseball, as we look at the Yankees, they buy players. They don't develop them at the minor league level. They go out and get guys and pay them huge contracts. So, but Montreal was always a team that was always, good every year and always competed at the highest level.
Were you an Expos fan growing up? Did you have a team?
Yeah, we watched the Expos, we watched the Blue Jays, and then we watched the Red Sox. And when I was growing up, we only had, I think, 3 channels on the TV, and it was black and white. So so every time we had an opportunity to watch a game on TV, it was cool. We almost always acted like in the living room, like if somebody made a diving catch in the infield, we would like throw ourselves across the living room, like we're doing the same play as those people on TV. So, yeah, we always had a love for the game. Growing up, it was a fun game. It was a family sport. I had 3 other brothers and a sister. We all played. All 4 boys played baseball. My sister played softball. So my parents were always devoted to bringing us everywhere where we played, and they always supported us.
Rheal, you also had a chance to work, or rather pitch for Team Canada. Where does that rank in your accomplishments? That was
great. I mean, to represent your country, to wear your name on your chest, and the people that you represent, your neighborhood, people from New Brunswick, and but at the same time, what was really cool is that when in the Olympics, in '88, it was a demonstration sport when I first played in it, and then going back 20 years later, and it was the last year they had baseball in the Olympics. So I think it was pretty cool how I played at the beginning and at the end, and in between, I played baseball in the big leagues. So it's kind of like when I played in 2008, I felt this is it. Like I started with it, I'm going to end it with it, and I'm going to walk away from it.
Well, we hope to see you back here in this city. You please let us know if you're coming to visit here in Montreal. We'd love to have you in studio or promote whatever you're up to, because certainly a lot of fans were fans of yours and in this country, and you were an inspiration, certainly, especially in the Maritimes to youngsters there. So best of luck. And again, if people want to watch that special, which is happening right now on Rhéal Cormier, they can go on Bell Express View Channel 100 or 1801 or Bell 5 405 Channel 12 or 628. It's happening right now. Rhéal, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Matthew, you're welcome.